Well, it's late in the day, but we're doing it. It's another Co-Pilots podcast.
It's very fucking late in the day. Yay! And on this day, actually no, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Chester Bennington died. That was shit.
Yeah, I read it in the... I saw an article on the Daily Mail, and I was just like, I'm going to wait until a reputable news source confirms this before I commit emotionally to being sad.
What was I can't remember where I saw it.
I just saw an article on Facebook, and I was like,
Yeah, I think that's the same with me. I listened to a lot of Linkin Park today, and let me tell you, their new album does not sound like their old album.
But then they do that, every sort of 2 or 3 albums, they just change how they sound, and I like that.
Yeah, I ain't got a problem with it. It is what it is. That's what they want to do. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. You still get the old
and
stuff.
Also, they're a song with Stormzy, so...
Yeah, exactly.
But
anyway, that's what's going on at this point of recording. I've just had a massive Chinese meal and I'm falling asleep.
I ordered a pizza when the time that it was going to take for you to get to the recording was getting later and later. I was like, maybe I should just order a fucking pizza. And then I did, and then you were like, cool, I'm ready. And I was like, my pizza's just got here.
Sorry.
But anyway.
I'm here to talk to you about Nazis.
What if Nazis ruled the world?
I think that's an excellent question, and one that I think this seeks to answer, kind of. I have a theory about one of these shows, which I will divulge to you at some point.
Interesting. Shall we just get right into The Man in High Castle? The Man in the High Castle?
Yes, go on.
Basically, Nazis won. Japan won. Someone dropped a bomb. They mentioned that someone dropped a bomb, but not who. And then, basically, bad shit ensues.
So, yeah, I'll tell you what one of the immediate disturbing things is when you see the American flag with the swastika on it. That is
not the most most disturbing moment for me in the show. It's when he's pulled over to the side of the road and the guy's offering him a sandwich. And, there's just, the ash falling from the sky, and he's just like, what's that? And he's just like, oh, no, it's just the hospital. And then it's like, oh, okay, so... Oh, fuck. I see, they didn't put an end to that, then.
Yeah, no, that was kind of nasty. But I suppose, one of the more immediate things... Because that doesn't happen until quite late in the episode, isn't it?
It's halfway through.
Halfway through? Yeah. So we start seeing that there's a chap called Joe, which is a lovely name.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's a cunt, though.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Well, he agrees to take a shipment of something across... Is he going from New York to go to San Francisco, or he's heading?
He's heading into the Rockies, so California sort of area.
Yeah, and then the SS turn up and try and put a stop to it, but he gets away, which is lucky, or is it luck?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And then when she's to, what's her name? Juliana.
Yeah, her sister comes back and she's like, oh, it's fine, I've got a job. And then it cuts to later that evening, she's like, here, take this suspicious package. It's to do with work. And then she gets shot in the back.
I'll stop you there. I was not wholly convinced by her discovering her dead sister. I was like, you'd probably be a little bit upset. You just want to know what's in this.
And maybe a little bit, louder. What the thing about that scene that annoys me is the direction that the Japanese guards run. Because they start running up the street in the same direction that she was running when they shot her in the back. So they go up this road going, I will find out where she came from. No, you won't. She was running that way. That's where she was going.
Do you know that didn't even occur to me?
It's because this is the second time I've watched this pilot. And I sort of noticed it the first time, and the second time I was like, shit. These guys, how did they win a fucking war? But did they?
There's the point. So, and then I got to be honest, I was quite tired when I was watching it, so it's a little bit fuzzy. But she comes into, is it what the package it is? It's a real film, isn't it?
It's like the VE Day film.
Yeah, so it shows the Allies winning the war.
Yeah, and they, that's when you get like the man in the high castle name drop, and it's just like, oh, he's the guy who makes all these kooky films about the Allies winning the war. It's like,
is he the one making them, or is he just?
I think he's sort of like, they think he's making them as like a sort of anti-Nazi propaganda sort of thing. But I'm assuming that he just somehow has a stockpile of these real footage things. Which raises the more interesting question of how the fuck did they convince everyone, oh, no, you guys didn't win. We fucking won. This is our world now. Yeah.
Especially when they're in America, when the Nazis are in America, and there is the Third Reich is actually
a thing
taking place. I'll get onto my theory about that a little bit later on. But that did throw me, that part, because I thought that just the entire premise was just this is what life might be like had the Nazis won the war, not this is what it might have been like, but then it was all a cover up.
Yeah, it's quite.
So it's
really cool because earlier this year, yeah. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did like a what if, and it was like what if Hydra won. It was like, and I was just like, this is really cool. Like, I love shit like this. And then this came along, and I was like, oh, cool. I love shit like this. It's like when a fan theory goes out of control.
Oh, there was a point where there was like a craze of people making fan theories. Like there was this really convoluted one for all the Pixar films. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, like how they're all related.
And how how Boo was a witch and managed to enchant fucking Carls to talk. Or, I don't know.
Oh, that's like amateur level fan theory, man. I've literally spent maybe most of this week just watching, like listening to people talk about like Game of Thrones fan theories, and like it is insane. Like, not even just like the who are Jon Snow's parents thing, but like there's like a northern conspiracy to kill the Boltons or some shit. It's great.
That's mad. That's being a fan like on an insane level. Like I couldn't even begin to think of stuff like that.
But I think it's one of the things that I really like about getting into like a fandom properly, in like to like that extreme, and just being like, but if you read deeper. But that's on a completely different point to what if the Nazis won.
Yeah. I'll tell you what is weird, seeing an old Hitler.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see Hitler.
But then, of course, he would be in charge of everything.
I mean, yeah, if you think about it. But what I found funny is that they said, at some point they referred to him they said balls, and I was like, actually, just the one.
That's terrible.
But yeah, and they like people are convinced he has like Parkinson's and stuff, and I guess like he would be an old man.
That was an interesting thing. At this point.
But then what if he didn't even survive? What if that's not really Hitler?
Well, this is the thing. I'm second guessing everything that's happening now, particularly because of what my theory is as well of what's going on, of why there is this sort of duality of it.
What if?
You know.
What if they're living in the Truman Show?
No.
But it's the Truman Show's like, ever since Jim Carrey left, we're not getting as many viewers. What?
So what's the next
the next
step?
logical step is, what if Nazis won?
I suppose it does sort of conjure up a terrifying image of what life would be like, doesn't it? Although at this point, probably it's not scary enough for my liking. I imagine that as it goes on, it gets worse, like the things you see.
But that's I suppose this is sort of a generation away from. So there's sort of, I think it's like 20 odd years since like the end of the war in the show,
Yeah.
so they'd have had a lot of time to adjust. Because all the characters we meet are characters who've grown up knowing nothing else.
Yeah, they're sort of normalised to it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of that, you don't know what freedom is. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose probably right. It's maybe not just burning people. That's what freedom is.
So we follow Julianne. She gets on a bus to go and take this film to. She's going to. Where is she? Is she going to San Francisco, or was she in San Francisco? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Bus ticket to Colorado. Yeah, she's going to Colorado.
Yeah, to see the man in the high castle.
That's it. It's taking the film. So she gets on the bus.
Although she doesn't actually know what
on the
she's
way there,
doing. She has like a
No.
business card with a diner. Like it's like a bus ticket with like just the name of a diner and a time on the back, and she's just like, I guess that's enough to go on.
So this leads to her meeting up with Joe, the guy who nicked a van, a lorry.
And
at
is
the
also
start.
probably a Nazi.
Yeah, because he gets on the phone and it's the. Hang on, I need to look at the word before I can pronounce it.
Nazis.
No, the one that we. Here we go. Ready? The Obergruppenführer. John Smith. John Smith.
What a boring as shit name for a Nazi man.
Well, here we go. A former US military officer who joined the Nazis and rose through the ranks to become a senior officer in the SS.
See, I'm really avoiding looking at any of the information that's on this page because I don't want to know. Because I'm
no, that's fair.
potentially gonna. This is gonna be one of those shows that I'll come back to and watch a couple episodes every now and then. Because it's good, but I don't know if it was. I don't know if I was gripped enough initially to be like, I really want to. I really need to know how this ends.
That's my issue with it, because I did feel the sort of the heavy eyes going at one point. I had to sort of snap out of it to wake myself up to carry on watching it. But there's a surprising number of threads to follow, because you've got the Japanese people as well, Takeshi Jido.
Yeah, like that was a bit of the storyline that I didn't really expect to be there. So I was just sort of like, oh yeah, Nazis won.
But you think, oh well, of course, yeah, they allied with.
And it seems like they've sort of divided America in two, and they've just sort of gone, you have that bit, we'll have this bit, and they like, because they talk about like the neutral zone thing, where they are at the end of the episode. I think they're in the neutral zone.
Yeah. I felt the same thing. Like for a show it was like flagship advertising for Amazon Prime a couple of years ago. I didn't feel it was quite as crisp and clean, and I think a problem with it I had as well, and I think this might be contributing to that feeling, is the length of it, because it is actually a show that is an hour long, where normally if we have like a US drama thing, it will say, oh yeah, it's an hour long, but really it's 45 minutes because you allow 15 minutes for adverts and stuff. But I think the extra 15 minutes, it really changed the pace of it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also a little part of me that's just like, could this not have opened with how the Nazis won the war?
Well, no, because that's the point, isn't it? So this is
or at least their version of it.
No, that's fair. Well, the original story is based on a book by Philip K. Dick, who is
I've heard this name
a
before.
science fiction writer. Yeah, you will have done. He wrote the novel that Blade Runner was based on, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and A Scanner Darkly, which is that weird.
That was a great film, though.
Yeah, Total Recall, Minority Report, that was all his stuff. So my thought for this is that The Man in the High Castle, the reason there are two versions of what happens during the war is I think it's an alternate parallel universe story running concurrently. Because of who it's written by, because he's a science fiction writer. Had it just been presented as a normal, drama and we'd not known that information, I think the metatextual knowledge of that, knowing that it's a science fiction writer, lends itself to that being a possibility of having the science fiction element of parallel and alternate universes.
Interesting. See, that makes me more interested to watch it because I didn't know it was a
Philip K. Dick
thing. I might watch another couple episodes of this and see how I'm feeling.
See, I'm not sure I'm gonna. I don't think I will because I don't know. It didn't quite, like you said, didn't grip me in the way that I hoped it would. It just didn't click with me.
I think there's a lot of like sort of teases of what's happening, but nothing like to really get into. I think maybe it's because they're following two characters at the same time, which is not something I have an issue with generally. But I didn't feel like either of them had because Joe's story is basically I'm kind of maybe good or maybe bad, who knows. I'm driving a car. So there's not much really for his story apart from the hospital Ash thing. And a lot of it was just them travelling places.
Yeah. There's no sort of sense of drive or purpose, I didn't feel, for them.
But is this potentially an issue with the fact that it wasn't piloted so much? It was they sort of went, we're going to make this,
all
it's a show
out.
Sort of thing.
I suppose maybe the nature of pilots is changing there, because less and less they're going to need to convince executives to make it, because with Netflix, if they're going to say yes you can make it, then you're going to have a whole series.
Yeah.
Aren't you? So, and that goes with all sort of subscription services, so maybe that's a point. What if this becomes then defunct?
Although saying that, I was just looking at the release dates. The pilot came out in January and the second episode came out in October. I'm just gonna quickly scroll through and make sure they weren't released every 6 months.
This thing I've got, the dates I've got is January 15th was a sneak peek was released, and then the official release date was the 20th of November 2015.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because it's January 15th, October 23rd. Oh no,
you're right. Sorry,
November
you're right.
20th, and then that's the rest of the episodes.
Yeah, it originally premiered on January 15th as a sneak peek. The remainder of the series would be released later that year on Amazon Video.
Interesting.
That's like that. I think they did the same with that Sneaky Pete, because I remember Bryan Cranston going on the Nerdist podcast about that time, and then he was talking about Sneaky Pete.
Unless they do it as that sort of
and then it just vanished.
Teaser thing. But no, that's sort of bizarre. But I think they'd still sort of gone well, we've made this. Someone might like it. Just give it to them. But no, the thing is, right, with all this streaming stuff, there is some really good stuff being made. Something you should watch that I watched the other day, The Circle.
Love.
It's on the list. It's literally on the list now.
The Circle, is that the Emma Watson Tom Hanks thing?
Yeah, but it's more than just Emma Watson and Tom Hanks. It's got Finn of Star Wars fame. He has a real name, I imagine.
John Boyega?
Karen Gillan as well. And I was just like, Emma Watson's on the phone. I was just like, that's fucking Karen Gillan's voice. Are they friends? They're friends. They're best friends. They hug and everything. I was like, this is the best fucking thing. Also, it's a really good show about like technology and like social media gone mad and shit. Is awesome. I think.
So that about wraps up Man in the High Castle.
Yeah, well, it's just because we were talking about streaming and I really enjoyed that film. It was very, very good.
Okay.
I had a moment in the middle where I was like, I'm sort of falling asleep, and then I was like, wait, what? And had to watch the rest of it.
Fair. Alright, we'll give that a go. Should we switch over to Deutschland 83?
Which I assumed, sort of, that this was going to be a similar sort of thing.
So did I.
It's not.
I suppose it is kind of.
Well, this is just, it's just a different war.
Yeah.
It's the thing, they're set in the same sort of time, and I was just like, yep, nope, that's all I need. But I turned this on, Deutschland 83, and was like, yeah, cool, I'm ready for all these Germans that speak English properly with like English accents and shit. No. I had to fucking do reading.
I do not have a problem with having to read subtitles and listening to a foreign language, because I realised, if anything, it makes me engage that little bit more, because I can't just rely on hearing what's being said and being distracted. I have to read what's being said. So that means you take in it. Well, I think at least
interestingly, that's actually how I play Assassin's Creed. Put it into the native language.
In Italian.
Boom.
What are you going to do for the next one? Because it's in Egypt. What language do they speak in Egypt?
Egyptian.
Will it have an Egyptian saying, do you think?
I don't know. It probably will.
What did you do for Syndicate?
I turned on the subtitles for Cockney rhyming slang. But yeah, for like Syndicate it didn't make sense, but I played all of Unity in French and was like, I know literally no more French. I've learned nothing.
Oh, that would be quite nice. I should have done that.
It was really good. You could probably have played it in French without the subtitles.
No, I don't think so. My French isn't that good. And they speak a lot quicker, so it's not.
Well, I don't know. In this, they kind of it's mostly the same stuff repeated. Like, fuck the royals. Oh god, there's an assassin. He's killed someone. A lot of that.
So that's Deutschland 8.
Yeah. It's in German. It confused me. Yeah, no.
I liked this a lot more than I liked Man in the High Castle.
I had to concentrate a lot more, and for the first maybe like 10 minutes, I was like, I just don't care why. I
had
don't.
that.
Why are we following this guy? I was like, okay, yeah, they've had a meeting in Germany. Cool. I don't know which bit of Germany they had it. It looked like West Germany because it was not shit.
I think it was East, because I feel like the side he's working for is
he's
Germany,
working for Eastern, but I think that
that
first meeting happened in West Germany because everything kind of looked less drab.
In fairness, my knowledge of the Berlin Wall and the separation of Germany, I don't know anything about it other than the wall went up and then later the wall came down.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's all I know.
All I know about it is that East was bad because, well, not bad, but like was Russia controlled, and West was Ally controlled, and there was a wall. They built a wall, and people like tried to escape over it, but this is more focused on like nuclear stuff. And sort of around the Cold War.
The Cold War. So this dude, Martin, he is sent undercover into West Germany, impersonating another soldier, and he's trying to get secrets and stuff. So he's just spying on what's going down in West Germany, isn't it? And it's kind of like, it's just a spy sort of thriller show, isn't it?
Yeah. And
but
once they got into that bit of it, I was like, I'm about this.
Everything before that, I was like, I just don't give a crap. But then as soon as they started training him up, I was like, okay, here we go. And then the part where he's in the meeting with the general, and then he sneaks back in to get the documents, and then subsequently the barbecue. They were fantastic.
Yeah, like I think out of all of the whole show, the barbecue stuff was my favourite bit, because he was like, yeah, no, I've done it. Maybe was that before or after he gets the documents?
It's after, because he's then phoning.
Yeah, because he's like, isn't he,
in the pub.
No, because he phones his girlfriend, doesn't he? Yeah. And he's just like, yeah, no, I've done it. I've nailed it. I can go home now. And you're instantly just there, just like, you ain't going home, mate. You're going to be there for as long as this show runs.
Yeah. I'll tell you what did make me laugh, though, is the bit he meets up with another guy who's there undercover as well, and he goes, I really fucked up. She heard me make a phone call. He just gives him this chemical. He's just like, put some of this in her drink. He just sidles up and literally he just takes this out and whole thing goes in the drink.
Yeah, the thing, I actually missed the, like, pouring it in the drink. I was just like, yeah, because I was
really?
just like, I know he's done it, because he's going to have done
great.
it. But that was, I think, my favourite part of the whole, like, of the episode. Because I was just like, oh yeah, like, he's done it. Maybe he might get to go home and be like, hey guys, I did some spying. Do you mind if I tell you all about it? And then, obviously, from, like, he did such a good job that now it's his forever job. Or I was under the impression that, like, a lot of what he unearthed just led to more stuff they needed to get.
Yeah. What he unearthed, they said, like, it's 17 targets, so we think that the US is planning an attack on East. Wait, is it East Germany? Oh, it must be, because he's in West Germany. Yeah, so that makes sense. Anyway, I was going to say, yeah. What Deutschland 83 managed to do where Man in the High Castle didn't is, I was willing him to get out of the office, and then when they took him back to the barbecue, he was like, right, that's me, I'm off. And they're like, oh, stay, have some of this food. And I was like, oh, just let the guy go, just get him out, just let him get out. And they just would not.
I think there's a little part of me that was just rooting for him to, like, just succeed. Like, in no spy film ever have they just been like, alright, I just needed to get these documents. Well, I've got these documents. Am I done? I just wanted them to be like, yeah, you are.
Yeah, that's it. You can go
what now. I'd rather, like, what maybe I would have liked this to be is, rather than just following him and his spying, is it to just be like the through characters are just like the handlers who are just like, oh, you know, we're going to send this guy to do this thing. And then every week you get one of these really small stories where, like, a young person is sent to do a spying thing. And then sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
So that you... almost so that you see it from, like, the handler's point of view, where you, like, you don't get much of a chance to care about the person doing the spying. And then you might get to see it from, like, sort of the handler's point of view, where they're like, oh, we'll just throw people at this until we get what we need.
Are you saying what you want is a more condensed Spooks?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, this is basically 1980s German Spooks.
Yeah, that's fair.
I expected more mustache.
Why?
Because that's the 80s in my head. It's just, there was a lot of mustaches. I don't know. I wasn't alive in the 80s. I might look like I was, but I'm not.
Oh no, you weren't, were you? Sorry, I thought you were born in '89.
Yeah, the Berlin Wall fell, mate. I was born.
Oh, well done.
I know. It feels like, whenever I say that, it feels like I was some sort of catalyst, but I know that I wasn't.
Are you sure? I thought it came down in '89.
I hope there's just... Oh, no, there's no link. I can just click on that page. Berlin Wall.
Yeah, again, this is dependency you're listening to.
1989. Literally just under a year before I was born. 9th of November.
Well, there you go. That's why. You go, oh shit, the wall's coming down. Why is that? Well, we're just getting these tremblings. There's someone going to be born in 1990 that's really going to shake this up. So we're just going to take it down now.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel it. The question is, actually, now that I know this is on all 4, I probably will watch more of this.
Yeah, because you bought the episode, didn't you?
I just went, it's not on Netflix. I wonder if it's on Amazon Prime. Never thought to check Channel 4.
Or even just have a Google.
I don't Google shit, man.
I found it because it was on that, you know, that Walter Presents thing. It's that guy who introduced like foreign dramas onto your telly. I thought it was cool. So yeah, I might watch more of this, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm more likely to watch it now that I know it's on there. I didn't realise it's done the same thing that This Is England did with their TV series. That each season gets like a different year, and I was like, because I was just sort of like, I was like, oh cool, it's only got one season. Why? Like this seemed like it was quite good, but no, it's just the year thing.
But also 8 episodes. It's a good series length.
I know.
Like it.
I didn't actually check to see how long each season of Man in the High Castle was.
Hopefully not like 20.
Oh yeah, no, it's 10.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, I think of the two of them, I definitely preferred Deutschland 83. It had a bit more of a sense of humour about it.
I think it was just faster paced.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like
because it's the shorter runtime that helps.
Yeah, I sort of feel like with Man in the High Castle, they're sort of travelling cross country trying to like do stuff that's illegal, and it's like, could you maybe just fucking pick up the pace? Like you're gonna get caught. You've been sat on this bus for 3 hours. Jesus. But I think I'll probably watch a bit more of both of them and see where I'm at after that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bother with Man in the High Castle, to be fair.
Yeah, I sort of feel with both of them that I might just get bored.
That's the trouble, I suppose. Oh well, never mind. That's our German fix, anyway.
Yep. Had enough of Germans now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so next episode we are going to be chatting about, and I'm very excited for this.
Do you know how long I've been wanting to watch Westworld for?
I know, it's been ages. Like, because it was, end of last year it started coming out. Everyone was going on about how good it was. So yeah.
Interesting, that was actually on the list for season 1. So it would have been actually relevant. Yeah.
Oh, really? That would have been unlikely.
I know. It's because it came out as I was writing the list, and I was like, oh cool, I've got a couple more spots to fill. I'll just fucking chuck that in. And Firefly, which is completely irrelevant.
Yay.
Because they're never going to make any more of it. It's on the list because they seem like Wild Westy sort of sci-fi things.
Yeah.
That's our theme for next week.
Good.
Wild West sci-fis.
And we're finally going to watch Firefly like Zara was trying to tell us to do for ages. But I don't like that. I'll say this now. I don't like that they have like a language where shiny means cool. It's like, oh mate, that's fucking shiny.
I don't know, I kind of got behind that for a while and was like,
I'm not a fan.
I'm just going to join on this. I don't know where the reference is from, but I'm just going to join in being like, shiny's cool.
So yeah, we'll have that out later in.
I actually thought that came from like Pokemon cards when I first heard it, because I was like, never heard of
that. Does make
sense.
No,
because shinies were cool. So you'd be like, oh, that's shiny.
Especially for the shiny Charizard.
Wouldn't know, never had one.
Oh, God, I did.
Yeah, well, I had friends.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a virginity.
I should have gone with that.
And on that note, oh,
yeah.
good night, New York.
What?